This right here, this is my happy place for real. I'm telling you, getting outside, getting into the park, getting into nature anytime, and just letting loose and letting the flow go, it feels amazing, really, y'all. And I know what you're probably thinking, yeah, but that probably takes years to learn. And you know, you're not wrong. You know, the truth is, it seems like the majority of the beginners that I talk to who are just coming to the rope flow game, they usually kind of hate the way their flow looks. And it's not just because they're beginners. The problem I've learned is that they haven't really learned how to find the feel, the rhythm of the rope. And so we have a drill today that I've taken straight from our upcoming course, The Art of Flow, that will help you learn to find that rhythm and get your flow to look and feel amazing. So I've been told it's stupid. Don't share this kind of thing on YouTube. Just keep it in your paid course, Amir. But you know, I think it'll help you guys. It helps a lot of my students get, much more satisfied with the way their flow looks. So YOLO, let's do it. All right, so this drill, I'm gonna give you a quick look at it. I call it the anchored matador, okay? And so it's a beginner drill, but it actually packs a lot of punch, a lot of power in its ability to transform the look of your flow, right? So first of all, if you look at a matador, here's a matador, right? It's 2 beats on each side, right? And our figure 8 is just 1 beat per side. So this drill is sort of a combination of the two. I call it an anchored matador because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my one, in this case left hand, doesn't matter which hand, and I'm gonna kind of pin my forearm right above my hip bone. So it just stays there, right? I'm not gonna move it, I'm not gonna guide the rope much with it. This other hand is gonna do the majority of the work, right? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that rope, and we're gonna do overhand, so we're gonna cross over our body and bring it back, okay? Now, this is the movement, the anchored matador. And it doesn't look like much perhaps, but it is very powerful because you're learning how to separate the hands and still control the rope. And in order to get that rope to have a nice little U shape and kind of turn it over and turn it back, you really have to kind of do your pronation and supination of your wrist, right? Which means palm down and palm up. And also, it gets your whole body involved in this torso twist. Now, when I teach people how to do the matador, or the race and chase or figure 8s, I'm telling them torso twist and all this. I'm telling them, supination and pronation of their palms, but it doesn't really sink in as well. What I found, and I'll show you this drill in the overhand fashion from the front. What I found is that when you anchor that one hand, and even if you especially start with your dominant side that's not anchored, it forces you, because you're gonna have, if you don't do it right, you're gonna have timing issues or whatever, and it forces you to kind of start to learn the fluidity that takes place, right? So in rope flow, we talk a whole lot about this figure of 8, right? It's something that you learn a lot about in my courses, or if you study any other rope flow teachings, David Weck or wherever. And sometimes I think we kind of get into this figure of 8 and people don't understand what is the point of a figure 8. Yeah, I can do this kind of thing with my hands, but there's a whole arc, right, on each side of that side where it's 8. And once you start learning how to control your body in that way, it actually, in this case, forces you to use your arms and elbows and wrists in synchronization with one another, because you got to mark the edge of this circle on this, the edge of the side where it's 8 on this side, and come down smoothly and bring it back up on the other side. And this is an overhand pattern. In the underhand pattern, it's the opposite, where the pinky is leading and you're still doing the same thing. That you're tracing the edge of the circle on this side and on this side. So this movement in particular helps you to train your body to coordinate that motion, right? And it's this whole sequence of events that takes place. And then as you come down across your body, now you're kind of internally rotating that shoulder, the elbows coming up a bit, right? You're getting that movement and you're controlling that wrist, right? You're giving the rope its energy from there, and then you're coming back. Now you're bringing your your shoulder in across your chest as you come back across. Now your torso is twisting as you come down on the opposite side, and you externally rotate that shoulder to bring it back around, and around and around we go. So the figure of 8 is very powerful and potent. There's also elements of this high and low shoulder that's taking place, right? So especially when you're doing with 2 hands, you got one shoulder that's high now, and as you come back, that same shoulder is low and the opposite shoulder is high. So you got spinal rotation and 2 different planes going on. You got the rotation this way and this way. You've got the rotation of your spine, the side bend going on, and you're combining them. So there's a whole lot going on kind of behind the scenes from a functional perspective with this movement and with figure 8 movements in general. Even though they may be the simple beginner movements, they are powerful, and you you definitely want to make sure you master them in order to master rope flow. The sooner and better you get with your figure of eights, the sooner and better you will be with your rope flow practice in general. So remember, what we're really doing here is trying to build that control of the rope, right? So that our hand is guiding it so that tension stays on the line the whole time. And in order to do that, in order to give the rope fluidity and control and maintain tension, we have to have, like, our body has to have fluidity and control of itself, right? So, you know, it's a simple matter of this drill helping you to find that particular rhythm and timing. Now, the thing is, there's more than one line, right? It's like a race car driver going around the curve. There's more than one line that you can take that will be appropriate for your speed and your pace, basically, that you're going. So you can go a narrow line here that's really close to the body. I can get wider, right? But in any case, you want to maintain that tension on the rope. And in order to do that, that last mile of the arc of your body is your hand and your wrist, right? So I'm trying to show you really closely how my hand and wrist are actually working to guide and control this rope, right? And the same is true for an underhand movement, where you have to really give the rope, I'll change the camera a little bit so that you can see better perhaps. You have to give the rope with your hand. Now I'm just giving a little bit of a finger hold the rope so you can see my hand better, but you give the rope its power, right? The rope is an inanimate object that you animate through your timing and coordination and rhythm of your motion, right? So there's this whole thing that's happening in my arm here to guide that rope, and basically the better I get at bringing that guidance to the rope from the rest of my body, the less work it is for my hand and wrist, right? So if I get involved here, all of these things I'm doing, more gyration and twisting of my spine and my hips, that rope is so much easier. When I wasn't doing that, my hand was just getting tired a little bit from holding that rope that way. So it's important to start to realize that you're focusing not only on the look of the rope, but the tension of the rope. And you'll know it, I promise you. If you've been flowing with the rope and just doing it to kind of go through the motions and feel like it's, that says it's the thing to do, rope flow is gonna help my mobility, it's gonna help me coordinate this and that, but you haven't really felt it, working on this move, trying to find that right tension, trying to build that U shape of the rope, you'll find where you feel it. Now there's a rhythm there. Oh, okay. When you might first start out with this anchored matador, you might find that it's not pretty, or it doesn't feel good, or maybe the coordination is weird, but at some point, I promise you, stick with it, you will feel it kind of, aha, that's what Amir was talking about, okay? So don't give up if it's a little tricky at first. It is simple, but it may not be easy for everyone, so don't worry about that. But I promise you, everyone who I've ever worked with who spent time on this move has thanked me for it. And not only verbally, but when I see them flow, I get the thanks without them saying anything. It's written all over their flow. You can use this move to kind of give you the ability to turn around and back and forth. You can embellish with a high flow or a low flow and really look like a rope flow pro, right? You can go round and round with it. To be honest, I think one of the big problems people have is that they see people doing more advanced movements, right? And then they want to come out and learn those movements themselves, and they skip over too many of the fundamental elements. And that's normal for most things, right? If you're into martial arts or anything else. I remember when I was a kid, I was too good for the training that my karate instructor my mom had hired was giving me, because I already saw karate movies. I knew what I was doing, and he didn't recognize my greatness. I wanted to be doing roundhouse kicks and not, whatever he was teaching. But the fact of the matter is, the fundamentals are really where it's at. Now, if this simple drill has made you feel even a tiny bit more connected with the rope, please let me know in the comments below, right? It's a wonderful drill and it's helped a lot of my students, and I hope it will help you as well. Also, if you want to learn more about the fundamentals of rope flow, right? Check out our Rope Flow Essentials course. And if you're ready to go deeper, unlock your own unique flow style and start combining movements in a flow that actually feels like you, check out our upcoming course, The Art of Flow. Now, it's not ready for prime time just yet, but there is a waiting list. The link is below, and you'll get 30% off the course when it's launched if you're on the waiting list.